In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 most common questions that Argos like to ask in their interviews and help you plan strong answers to these. So let's look at one of the most important questions, which is, what can you tell me about Argos? And you need to have a good answer ready for this to show that you've done some quality preparation and that you're potentially a good hire. So I'm going to show you how you can prepare a really great answer and the facts that you can take to your interview. So fundamentally, you need to convince them that you've got the basic idea, show them that you actually know the company and you know more than most people. But really, to be successful, you want to show that you've done impressive preparation and that you're taking this interview very seriously and you take the job seriously. So let's look at the facts that you can talk about. So the first thing you do is describe them as a major consumer goods retailer. In that short sentence, you're explaining fundamentally what the business does. Then explain how the model works. So you've got in-store and online, and they offer collection in store and they have a warehouse model. So what you're doing is you're going into the store to collect something that you may have bought online or you may have chosen from the catalogue, and then it is brought to you from a large warehouse at the back of the store where a huge number of products are kept in stock. The next thing you can talk about is the click and collect, where you can go online and you can reserve something for collection in the store, and that's quite popular. They are very affordable and they offer brands that people can actually afford and access readily. They have, of course, their own brands as well as other companies' brands. And the famous brand that they own is the Bush brand, that is their leading own brand. They offer some financial services and credit products. For example, there's the Argos credit card that is quite popular among customers. They have historically had the Argos catalogue, which I believe has now been discontinued at the time of this video going out, but they are very famous for having that large catalogue that a lot of people grew up with and are used to having in their home. The next thing you can say is that they were founded in 1972 by Richard Tompkins, and then you can go on to talk about a little bit about the history. So they've passed ownership through a lot of different companies. They've been owned by people like Bat Industries, GUS PLC, that's Great Universal Stores, and then became part of Home Retail. And then it's been taken over by Sainsbury's, and at the time that this video goes out, the company is owned by Sainsbury. They are actually originally named after a Greek city, so if you go to Greece, there is a city of Argos that you could potentially visit. That is where the name comes from. They have recycling in store, and they are very proactive in electrical recycling as a kind of environmental thing that they're interested in. And they have some charity partnerships and have historically raised quite a lot of money for charity through those partnerships. So this is how you plan a great answer. Use as many of these facts as you can and you'll have a confident and impressive answer, particularly if you can say things like 1972 and you can talk a little bit about the history. That really goes a long way to show that you've done some great preparation. We can now look at another question, which is incredibly important, which is, what is your availability to work for Argos? And they're going to be very interested in this, and you want to offer as much as you can. Of course, you can't give them a false answer, and you can't promise times that you can't do, but what you really want to do is focus as much as you can on what you can do and offer as much availability as you can. So to be successful, you want to try and say yes. The more you can say yes, the better an answer you're going to get. Be ready for any follow-up questions. For example, they may say, can you work evenings? Can you work weekends? And if they are asking about a specific time, if they say, can you work on Thursdays? Then remember that they're asking this for a reason, because that's exactly the time that they're interested in. So of course you may choose to say no, that is of course your choice, but if they ask about a specific time, remember they're asking for a reason, and saying no could harm your chances of getting the job. The next thing you want to do is be as flexible as you possibly can, and keep in mind, what does Argos want? If you are the owner of this company, what would you want in employees? You would want employees that are flexible, that can work the times that you need. And that's really what you're trying to answer in this question. So here are some good answers you could use in an Argos interview. You could say, I have excellent availability and could work shifts across the full range of opening hours. That really is the perfect answer. You might be able to say, I would be open to working a variety of daytime, evening, or weekend shifts as needed. Show a lot of flexibility. You could say, I would be open to overtime if available. It may not be available, but it's a nice thing to offer. And of course, you'd be paid extra to do overtime. You could then say, if you're slightly more restricted, and they actually give the hours on the job advert, you could say, I can confidently commit to working all of the hours you gave on the job advertisement. So these are some simple phrases that give good, strong, and confident answers. And that's how you answer that question. Another question that Argos quite likes is what makes great customer service. And it's really easy to talk about if you know the sort of things they want to hear. So the first thing you say is that you know the products and the service, that you actually understand what the company is offering and you understand their products. So if customers ask questions, they can actually get answers. Poor customer service is where a customer asks a fairly basic question and the employee doesn't know the answer. That's not really great customer service. The next thing is that you should be very friendly and approachable. That gives customers some confidence and also is a really key part of good customer service. If you're unfriendly and unapproachable, customers are going to have a terrible experience. You interact with warmth and a smile. That customer service is consistently of a high standard. So great customer service isn't if you go into the store on a Monday, you get good service, but on a Tuesday, it's terrible. It has to be consistent, that every interaction is positive. It doesn't matter what day of the week. It doesn't matter who they speak to. They get consistently high quality service. It's also proactive and customer centric. So it's not just reacting to when a customer has a problem and dealing with it. It's solving any issues before they come up and ensuring that customers are supported and provided with good service at all times. And really, great service exceeds customer expectations. So you need to know what customers expect in terms of service, and you want to try as far as possible to go beyond that. Great customer service exceeds people's expectations and makes them feel really happy about the brand. So that is how you answer that. A top tip is have an example of a time you gave great service ready. So they may ask, could you tell me about a time that you delivered great customer service? Think about your career and think about a time just in case they ask. And that is quite helpful rather than thinking up one on the spot. The next question that's quite common is how would you deal with a difficult customer or an angry customer, or an upset customer or a complaint or something that is difficult in dealing with something beyond the ordinary. And it's very easy to answer this if you show the right values. And so the first thing you say, and you're very clear about this, you say, I provide great service to all customers. So you got a difficult customer, you're not going to moan and complain about them or say, oh yeah, I hate those, they're really annoying. You just say very confidently and very clearly, I provide great service to all customers. You then say that I always listen to customers. So if a customer's being difficult, you first listen to what they've got to say. Then you say, I take any concerns seriously and work to resolve these. So if a customer's got a problem, you take their issues very seriously and you show that you actually care about those. You say then that you always interact in a calm and professional manner. So if a customer's being very difficult, they may be quite angry, they may even be shouting, you're going to remain calm, because if you don't, you're going to escalate the situation and make it worse. You then say that you try to build a good rapport with customers and that you show that you're on the customer's side. And then to round off your answer really confidently, you say, given my experience, I am confident that I can deal with all Argos customers effectively. So a good answer basically says, yes, this customer is being difficult, but that doesn't matter. I can handle it. I can deal with it. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to do the right thing. That's what they want to hear. So say each of the things on this list and you'll have a really fantastic answer to the question. The next one you really definitely want an answer to is, why do you want to work for Argos? And I can't tell you what your reasons are for wanting to work for Argos and why this is the right place for you to work. But what I can do is tell you some things that they kind of like to hear. So one thing is think about why Argos stands out. Why Argos? Why not somewhere else? Think about how Argos matches your skills. So think about what things you're good at and how this job matches it. And then how Argos matches your experience. Then you want to think about any career opportunities and what you see in your future. And you want to make sure that you are enthusiastic, because if you're enthusiastic, it looks good. Remember, this is not just a question to say, I want to work at Argos because. This is also a question to say, I want to work at Argos, but by the way, I'd be really good at it and I'm a great employee and I have all this wonderful experience that I can bring to you. That's really how you do it. You show off your experience, you show them you're a good hire while also explaining why you want to work there. So things that you could say is that you've got experience of being a customer, you've shopped at Argos for a long time, and you've had lots of positive experiences. You could say that you enjoy interacting with customers, and so having a customer-facing role is very important to you. You could say that you really enjoy meeting lots of new people, that you want to deliver a useful service, that it matches with your previous experience, explain what jobs you've had in the past, and how this is just a continuation of it, and you can bring the skills from those jobs to this. You can talk very confidently if you've got lots of experience. Say, I have extensive retail experience. And of course, you enjoy working in retail, that you want a very active job. You don't want something that you're sitting down at a desk all day if you're not applying for a role that's like that. You're going to be very busy working in a store, and that may be something that you like. You could say that you could build a career with Argos and talk about some ambitions that you have. So these are some great things that you can say, along with things like saying that there's a variety of roles within Argos and that you would like to perhaps in future progress into management, take on extra responsibility in time, and that you feel that these opportunities could present themselves as your career progresses with Argos when you establish yourself as a strong employee with a good track record. And that's how you ace that question. Before the interview ends, here are some good questions that you may want to ask Argos after the interview. So you could ask, based on your experience, what do you enjoy most about working for Argos? You may want to ask what training and progression opportunities could be available potentially for a high-performing Argos employee in the next 3 to 5 years, and see what training, what development, and what opportunities that might be available, and show that you really care about being high-performing. You could say, could you tell me more about the team that you have here at this Argos and how my role fits into your store? You could then say, I'm very interested in joining Argos, reiterate your interest in the role, and then say, therefore, I would be interested to know what the next steps in the hiring process are. You probably want to know when you find out. Is there a second interview? These are questions you probably want the answer to anyway. You could then finish by thanking the interviewer for their time, remind them of your interest in the job, and end on a positive note. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. I wish you the best of luck in your Argos interview. Please like and subscribe if it did help you out, and post in the comments what questions Argos asked you so we can build up a nice database of everyone's experiences. And finally, thank you very much for watching.